In today's video, we're ghost hunting somewhere pretty amazing.
Look at this.
Oh my god.
But do we find anything?
And got to this area and said, whoa.
Let's find out.
Hello and welcome to Postcard and a Pint. I'm Rachel.
I'm Wills.
And happy Halloween. Today we're in one of the most haunted nightclubs in the UK. We're at the Tivoli.
The Tivoli was built in 1925 in Buckley in Flintshire. It was built as a theatre and cinema and seated 1,000 people. It initially showed films and variety shows, both professional touring companies and amateur dramatic companies. It was the first venue in Buckley to play sound films using the little-known Filmophone. It certainly has its fair share of ghosts, the most famous being Harry the projectionist.
We're now walking up to the old projection room where the projectionist died. I've been up here before, but Rachel hasn't. I think my lights are off. Got my torch. Let's go have a look. Look at this.
Oh my god.
This is the door to the projection room.
Yeah.
Look at that. Can you see all that?
Yes, I can.
Well, and then in here, oh, something's gone quite cold. In here is where the projectionist burnt to death.
Ooh.
Spooky stuff, eh? That there,
Yeah.
where it's bricked up, used to be where the projection window was,
Okay.
and behind there,
Yeah.
where we'll go in a minute, is the seating block, the circle, in a circle. So this is pretty much fire damage
Wow.
from 1946.
Cool.
So
Let's tell the story.
let's tell the story.
It's really cold in here and quite a bit creepy with all the burnt remains, but we're going to tell you the story of Harry. Now, back in 1946, Harry was the projectionist here and he died tragically in a fire. It said the cause of a fire was a cigarette. Harry didn't smoke, but rumour has it, none of this is proven true, that Harry was seeing the local fire officer's wife, and it is said, speculated, that possibly the local fire officer started the fire, which finished off Harry. And there have been numerous sightings and strange things in this very haunted building. Ooh.
We didn't see anything, but the atmosphere was chilling.
Right, we've been in the projection room. We're now going to have a look at what was the circle of the theatre. Come and have a look. Oh, it's not even colder.
Oh wow.
Watch your step.
So I can't see anything.
Many ghost hunters have explored the Tivoli and have suggested that there are good spirits and bad spirits here. A ghost of a woman is often seen in this area. No one knows who she is. She's seen just sitting, maybe watching a film from a golden era.
Now, I've never been up to this part of the Tib before, and it's really interesting up here and quite a lot spooky, but it's interesting for me because my granddad, Bert, used to be projectionist here back in the 1930s, probably the projectionist before old Harry, who we just heard about before. Now, it was here where he met my gran. Now, my gran Elsie, she wanted to be a dancer and a performer, but it was back in the day of don't put your daughter on the stage, she wasn't allowed to be. So they fell in love, they had my mum, Wendy, and there was nothing that was going to stop them letting Wendy dance and perform, and as you may know from other videos of ours, she went on to have a lovely long career. And it's very strange and a bit spooky that it's history repeating itself, because Bert was a projectionist and also a sound engineer, and they went on to have Wendy, who's a dancer, and now I'm with Wills, who's a sound engineer, videographer, and I went on to be a dancer. Spooky.
So much of the original coving and woodwork is left behind. And Wills made a few room tone recordings on site. It doesn't take too much imagination to see this place as the theatre it once was. By the 1970s, the Tivoli was a nightclub, and in the 80s and 90s was one of the best live venues around.
Since the Tivoli became a music venue, I tell you what, the amount of bands and the bands that have been on here, you're talking your Black Sabbaths,
Your Led Zeppelins, your Oasis, everyone's been on here. Only a couple of months ago I saw Steve Harris, who's the bass player with Iron Maiden, his side project. A couple of years back I saw John Lydon with his Public Image Limited. But anyway, as I say, tons of bands have played here over the years. Motorhead, everyone. And I've never worked here as such, but I have done quite a bit of videoing of bands here. I started coming here back in 1990, obviously only 5 years old then. But yeah, so I've done a bit of recording here over the years, and that's why it's got quite a special place in my heart. Never seen a ghost though.
We'll keep looking though and see if we can find one.
We're now going to go in the downstairs dressing room, the one where the support bands get. And we were told a bit of a spooky story about this earlier on today. Let's go in here and have a look.
This room did have a really eerie feel to it, and although we saw nothing, we got the feeling that we weren't alone.
When we got here today, we learnt the latest ghost story of the Tiv, and it involves a band that were here just last week. There was a support band on, and one of the band members was coming back to this very dressing room. They went to open the door, and the door opened firmly from the other side. Now, didn't fly out the hand, opened with control, and rested against the wall. Now, the band member, of course, expected to see someone on the other side who just opened the door, and there was no one there. And so spooked was this band member that they sent an email into the Tiv today, and that arrived while we were here. The Tiv is a nightclub as well as a music venue, and back in the day, in the 90s, when I used to come here, the area that's now the stage was an upper level with a bar at the back, and we were told that this is where all the fights used to be, and I can certainly remember a fair few fights in this area. Well, story goes, a medium came to the Tiv, many have been here, and was doing a tour and got to this area and said, whoa. Anyway, said, fights break out here. There was been a lot of fighting here, and the owner was like, was there? Oh, that's really freaked me out now.
That was weird.
Back again, sorry about that, just got a little bit freaked out by that light up there. Anyway, back to the story. The medium came and said there was a presence found in this area that was notorious for tapping or pushing or shoving, making people in this area think someone was like acting the clown behind them, and hence starting the fights. Spooky.
This ghost has been described as an angry man who doesn't like women and likes to push people and move things.
We're now going up to what the artists use as a dressing room. When I used to come here, it was a bar. Let's go have a look.
This is now the main artist's dressing room, but back in our day was the top bar. There have been reports of sightings of a young boy, a lady in her 50s called Sarah, and a young girl aged 9 called Louisa in this part of the Tivoli. Once the lights were on, this area probably felt the least spooky of the lot, and we enjoyed looking at the band posters around the room. There is one thing though that is burned onto both of our eyeballs. This stairwell.
The things I saw happen in this little stairwell back in the day. Whew.
Yep, a large percentage of Buckley's townsfolk were probably conceived on those stairs. Now let's get home and see if we've got any ghosts on film.
It's pint time.
It certainly is. We're back home and we didn't catch any ghosts on film.
It was pretty spooky though, wasn't it?
It was really spooky. I got really excited once. I turned out those lights upstairs, put my camera in and thought, orbs, I've got orbs everywhere. Turns out that's called dust.
Yeah, they had orbs on that Most Haunted thing, don't they? In fact, talking of Most Haunted, did you know that Tiv was featured in Most Haunted in 2015? It's pretty good, check it out, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, Yvette Fielding and all the crowd were there. We'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Tiv. Thank you so much for letting us have free reign, wander around. It was fascinating to see where my gran and granddad met and imagine it as the theatre it was.
Yeah.
Dates discrepancy though. We say 1946 for the fire, and so does the Tiv website, but we have seen other blogs and other websites that do say 1945, May the 20th, so apologies if we are wrong on that.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool going up into those areas. As I mentioned before, I've been on the Tiv for 30 odd years, watching bands virtually every week at one point. And until recently, I'd never been up into the haunted bits, but so many of the bands actually mention about spooky stuff going on backstage and on stage as well. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So we'd like to say to you, happy Halloween, and bang bang bang, a few days it's bonfire night, and then it's nearly Christmas.
Hey!
So if you want to get in the mood for Christmas, check out our Scrooge video. We're going to link it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed a bit of Halloween, why not get the Christmas tree up and enjoy a bit of Christmas? So if you like this video, we'd be really grateful.
If you could push the button.
Yeah, if you
do all that,
subscribe to the channel,
we'd love it.
that would be fantastic. So let's raise a glass to you all, say cheers to the good time for happy Halloween.
Cheers to the good time. And happy Halloween. Why do demons and ghouls hang out together?
I don't know.
Because demons are a ghoul's best friend.